Remember that MrBeast tweet? And it's like, I worked with this creator. This is the before of how much they made. This is the after. I was like, that's crazy.
There was a really cool, it was a movie prop. So you could go on websites and find these really realistic, like alien movie props, but there was like a big, scary 16-foot Yeti that was so cool looking. I wanted that for the living room.
A 16-foot, 16 feet?
16 feet.
That's tall,
yes.
man.
How are you going to get that through the door?
Through the back door.
Oh, through the back door.
Yeah.
You got 16-foot vaulted ceilings?
Yeah, in Vegas.
Man.
Vegas are 22-foot ceilings.
I guess that is a Vegas thing, right?
Yeah.
Having those giant vaulted ceilings.
Yeah, the craziest thing I wanted to buy that I was so close to buying, and I should have bought it, was it's called the Timothy Oulton Apollo. And it's a replica of the one of the Apollo spacecrafts or whatever. And inside of it was like a sitting area, so it's like a circular thing with a table in the middle. And they're so unbelievably cool, and I thought I could put that in the living room, and it looks like a spaceship, and we could film the podcast in there.
How much was it?
150 grand. But I could write it off because it would be for the podcast.
True.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But it just happened to sit in the living room. Now I think those things would have been way more because this was in COVID.
Way.
Yeah, because this was in like the worst of COVID where everyone was like just panicking, didn't know what was going to happen with the economy. And they discounted this thing. I think normally it was like 200 grand for these things. And they discounted it. And I explained, like, here's who I am. Here's how it would be used. I think they only made like 10 of them.
What do they make them for?
Decoration.
Oh, just to sell them.
To sell them.
Yeah, but they're like seating arrangements inside of it. So it's purposely, there's supposed to be a utility with it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine how big that would be.
It's huge. Yeah, but there are things like that I see that I'm like, man, I would love to do that. There's a thing, it's a $700 flashlight. I saw it on TikTok.
I have 10 of those.
You have 10?
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's the Illumin.
Yep.
R18
What's
or whatever.
Yes.
I got a bunch to see how many it would take to cook an egg.
That's a genius idea.
And
how many did it take?
2.
So you didn't need 8 of them.
I didn't. Because I thought stupidly you get 8 and then everyone stands around and they just point it at the egg. But what you actually do is you put one flashlight underneath and then one on top and it becomes like a convection oven.
So I know you have a relationship with MrBeast.
Mr. Bean.
Pretty good one. You were in one of his videos.
3.
Oh, yeah. I saw the plane
videos?
video, right?
I've done 3 videos. One's been posted on his channel. One he didn't post, so I stole. And then the final one hasn't been uploaded yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I only saw the plain one.
The plain
I knew
one,
the
right.
one he posted on your channel, but I didn't know if that like counted.
Right. Yeah, maybe it doesn't count.
Yeah. But what was that like? Because for those that don't know, MrBeast basically made a full-on video. How much money did he spend on that?
Yeah, so the first time he ever asked me to do a video was like a $1.1 million shoot that involved like 2 people, military guys, doing a bunch of obstacles, biggest sumo wrestler in the world, giant obstacles, whatever it was. And I went out there to record to be basically a backup host for him because it was a race. He would not be able to get to the next obstacle sometimes if they're going faster than him. So I would just be there in case to explain what to do. And that was why he asked me to go out there. And I had met him before this just to hang out. And I think he thought I was funny and I would do well. And so we do it all, finish recording. A couple things go wrong in it. Like there's a few hiccups. And so I'm waiting for it to get uploaded. Hit him up like every week. I'm like, when's it going up? I'm curious. When's it going up? He's like, I don't know. And then one time I hit him up. I'm like, when's it going up? He's like, I'm not uploading it. I'm like, what? You spent $1.1 million. He's like, yeah, I didn't like it. It's not good.
Was he that matter of fact about it, or was he like depressed at all? Or was
No, when he makes a decision,
he just does not care.
It just is what it is. And like he's the person who makes that call too, right? It's not like somebody above him who's like, you know, Jimmy, I don't think this is the one. It's him who's like, we're not uploading it, and everybody else who's worked on it for months, like, oh, dude. but like that's his thing. And I think he almost takes pride in the fact that he spends money on things that don't go out because it shows how much he cares and how much he's willing to put into YouTube where most creators wouldn't. So he just scrapped it. And then we did a podcast with him when I was filming a second video with him. And just as a joke, I was like, well, if you're not uploading it, let me upload it on my channel. And he was like, yeah, that'd be funny. Because he wanted my most viewed video to be his video. And now it is my most viewed video.
It's just his video.
It's just his video.
Is it his thumbnail too?
Yeah. His
Did you
thumbnail,
do
his title, his
anything?
video. I did it. I did 2 intros. I'm in it for about 30 seconds.
I remember clicking on your video and being so thrown off that like I thought it was a MrBeast video at first, but I saw you uploaded. Wasn't it like I stole? Was it how much $1 million from MrBeast?
That was my explanation of it, but
Okay.
the actual video is called "I buried $100,000. Go find it."
Yep.
And it's Mr. Beast in the thumbnail, and it's my channel.
Yeah.
Do you think it could have done better? Because I honestly didn't know about you too well when I scrolled across that video for the first time. But changing your profile picture and channel name to Mr. Beast when you post it, and then you post it as him, because
That would have been
I would have been more
hilarious.
compelled to click on it had I known it was an actual Mr. Beast video.
Don't you
than like
lose your verification when you change your name?
yeah,
though?
you do.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I
Actually.
So you'd have to
Probably could've gotten it
re-verify.
back.
You would have gotten it back. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it would have. And I think part of it was an experiment. Like he was curious because he's always had the idea that YouTube is all skill, not luck. And with the knowledge he has, if he had to start a channel from ground zero, it would just skyrocket upwards. And so this is like, okay, let's find out. And I think there's definitely an element to a video being really good, having great click-through rate and great watch time. But also it helps if the video is uploaded on a channel with 100 million subscribers and has just a guaranteed bedrock of viewership. So I think like if this video was on his channel, it certainly would have gotten 40 million views at least.
Yeah.
And on my channel, it's sitting at about like 7.5.
I agree with that. I probably would have been more compelled as a viewer to click on it just because it's Mr.
Do you know
Beast.
what he didn't like about the video? Because I saw it. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it.
Yeah, there was a couple things that went wrong. Like the first problem was they had a giant target that they were supposed to shoot like a bullseye with a cannon. And the targets ripped because it was outdoors. It was just vinyl. It's huge vinyl targets. They just ripped both of them. And then they were like, okay, back up. We'll shoot the car with a cannon. And then the cannonball just turned out to be super flimsy in the wind, barely moved at all. So that just looked kind of bad, like that segment. Whatever, one segment, move on. There's another segment. They're supposed to wrestle a Japanese, the heaviest Japanese sumo wrestler. Or they're supposed to like do a sumo match against him. They both end up, because he has the coordinates tucked in his side, just running up, grabbing it, and leaving it. And you can hear the Japanese sumo wrestler in Japanese after he goes, have we started? So it's like just kind of lackluster. And then the ending, they just sprinted to the end before anyone was really there. So it's like, I think the day of the shooting felt a lot worse than what the final product ended up being, but it's hard to detach that feeling from what it looked like at the very end.
Yeah. He's got an interesting business model with his main channel. It seems like that's the loss leader. Like that's the Costco chicken that's in front that gets people through to then watch his other channels, like his gaming channel he was talking about, makes so much. And then the Reacts channel.
Yeah.
And if he wanted to, he could just post Reacts videos all the time and just print money. I mean, that's got to be mostly profit.
Right.
But the main channel, yeah, he's very upfront that he loses money on a lot of those videos.
And I think Costco's a good example because I think he's just as prideful of it being a loss leader.
Yeah.
I think he's like, he loves that he is like, I've spent like $10 million on videos in the past 2 months and I've thrown away half of them. It's
Yeah.
like, he loves that because I think it gives him a sense of pride.
Yeah, it is astounding though. He's not exaggerating that he does spend everything.
Yes.
I don't know. I was trying to calculate in my mind, like, here's how much he makes, here's how much he spends. It all gets reinvested. It is amazing to me how little he's taken out for himself, and just everything is back into the videos and just making good videos. And he's that serious about it. I'm like, all right, Mr. Beast, just okay, really. It's not just about making the best videos, right? He's like, no, it's the best videos. That's all I want to do. It's incredible. I would love to see you do that again. Would you try another channel and see if you could replicate that once more?
I think it's too hard to completely isolate all the variables in that sort of experiment. And I think the idea of skill, not luck is interesting and fun, and people love exploring that. So I am working on that. But rather than do it through a video that I make, I'm working directly with a creator, and I have been for a while now. Because you remember that MrBeast tweet, and it's like, I worked with this creator. This is the before of how much they made.
Yeah.
This is the after. I was like, that's crazy. So I thought I would try the same, and it's been going pretty well.
And you can't say what creator.
No
that
leaks,
is.
because then it'll kind of sully it.
How
But
does
they've
that? Yeah, how does that work? How did you find the creator? Do you take a split in terms of no? Is it just a test?
Purely just like I am trying to mentor this person, and at first we would have like scheduled calls, and it's been going on long enough now that they know what they're doing. And I think they're incredible at it. And I want no ownership of it. And I keep telling them, if the thing that comes out of this is you have grown and I don't even get a video out of it, I'm happier than if I get a video and you haven't grown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just mostly focused on that.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll notice people and I think they're going to be successful no matter what happens. If I'm helping or if I'm not, you're going to do well. And sometimes some people that you come across just have whatever that might be, and you're like, I don't know. Jack Gordon was a great example. I found his channel so early on. I'm like, oh my gosh. He's like a young Vsauce. And you know what? I can't remember if I think I made him an offer to come work with me in the very beginning.
Oh, yeah.
I did. I thought it would be so cool because then we'd have 2 Jacks. We'd have one Jack and then Jack Gordon. And I thought it was a long shot he'd even take the offer. And he didn't. But I wasn't even surprised. I'm like, no, his channel's going to blow up. And sure enough, it did.
Yeah.
But he just had some.
Is he at?
He's at 350 now, but he's in high school.
Oh, wow.
And he barely ever posts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he'll
'Cause
post.
He's just a high schooler?
Yeah, he'll post every now and then. But I'm like, if you just quit high school and just posted one video every other week, he would be at 1 million subscribers within like a few months.
I remember, it was Vid Summit last year. I was there, and I was at an event there, and some lady came up to me and she started talking to me. Turns out it was his mom.
Yep.
And she was like, yeah, like, I don't want him to drop out of high school, or I don't want him to like pursue this because he needs to pursue his education and stuff like that. I just thought
he's an example. He'll do well whatever he sets his mind to. Like if he wants to be a marine biologist, he'll be the best marine biologist. She's just got that mind.
That's great.
But he's also good on camera.
Just a focused person who's charismatic.
Yeah.